All right, guys, today we're going to be solving two-step inequalities, and we're going to throw in some negative numbers. So you remember we did one-step inequalities with negatives, that there's a special rule if you're multiplying or if you're dividing by a negative. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. Some important info we need to know. First thing is that our goal hasn't changed. Our goal is still to get that variable all by itself. So when we're doing this, we're going to use SADMEP, or the reverse order of operations, to perform inverse operations to get our variable by itself in a two-step format. Also, remember from last week, when you multiply or divide by a negative, you flip the inequality symbol. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. Number one, we have negative b minus 2 is greater than 8. Okay, first thing we want to do is draw our, and I use a dashed line so I can still see the symbol, through that inequality sign so that we know whatever we do on the left, that we have to come over here and do the exact same thing on the right. So we're going to use SADMEP. So I'm going to cancel out my subtract 2 first. The opposite of subtract 2 is to add 2. Whatever we do on the left, I'm going to come over here and do the exact same thing on the right. So I have a minus 2, I have a plus 2. Those are opposites, so they cancel each other out. And we're left with just a negative b is greater than 8 plus 2, okay, which gives me 10. Now, you'll notice I've already flipped my symbol. I flipped my symbol because to get this b by itself, I'm going to have to divide by a negative 1. This is a negative 1 times b, okay? So to get it by itself, I'm going to divide by a negative 1 because that's the opposite. I'm going to come over here and do the exact same thing on the other side. And since I divided by a negative, I flipped my symbol. My greater than becomes a less than. Anytime we multiply or divide by a negative, we flip that symbol. So I have a times by negative 1 and a divide by negative 1, and those are opposites. So they cancel out, and we're left with just a b. We flipped our symbol, so it's a less than. 10 divided by negative 1 gives me a negative 10. So my solution is b is less than negative 10. Okay. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 is negative 8 plus x divided by negative 2 is less than negative 24. Oh, my bad. Forgot to graph my solution set here. Open circle, line to the left. Back down to number 2. Number 2, we're going to draw our line through the inequality symbol. And then we're going to use SADMEP to help us solve. So first thing I'm going to cancel out is my negative 8. And I'm going to do that with a plus 8. Whatever I do on the left, I'm going to come over here and do the exact same thing on the right. My negative 8 and my plus 8 cancel out, and I'm left with x divided by negative 2. And I'm going to flip my symbol because I know I'm dividing by a negative, is greater than negative 24 plus 8, which is negative 16. Okay, and again, I've already flipped my symbol. I flip my symbol as quick as I can so that I don't forget about it. I'm dividing here by a negative 2, so I want to cancel that out by multiplying by a negative 2. Again, I'm multiplying by a negative 2, so I'm going to change that symbol. My less than became a greater than. Whatever I do on the left, I'm going to come over here and do the exact same thing on the right. So I'm going to multiply by a negative 2, divide by negative 2, times by negative 2, cancel out, and I'm left with x is greater than negative 16 times negative 2 gives me a positive 32. So my solution is x is greater than positive 32. To graph my solution set, I'm going to plot 32 on the number line. I have an open circle and a line to the right.